Hey guys, welcome to the session. In this session, I would like to discuss about Java Swings. So in the previous video, we have learned about AWT, that is Abstract Window Toolkit, which is used to develop window-based applications. Now that AWT has one drawback that it is dependent on OS, so that is platform dependent. So based on the OS, the components will be displayed. So that drawback is overcome by the next one, that is Java Swings. Even Java Swings is used to develop GUI, that is window based applications, but it has more features than AWT. So let's see in detail about Swings now. Now Java Swing is a part of JFC that is used to create window-based applications. Now what is JFC? JFC is a set of GUI components which simplify the development of desktop applications. Now this, as I told, AWT has some drawbacks that is overcome by the Swing. So let's see the differences between AWT and Swings. So AWT components are platform dependent. So we have seen that it is completely dependent on the operating system, whereas Java Swing is platform independent. So irrespective of the operating system, the GUI will look same for all the operating systems. Next is AWT components are heavyweight because it will use the resources of operating system, whereas Swing components are lightweight. Next, AWT doesn't support pluggable look and feel, whereas Swing support pluggable look and feel. And AWT provides less components than Swing. So we have seen some components like container, buttons, list, label, etc. Whereas Swing provides more number of powerful components such as tables, lists, scroll panes, color chooser, tabbed pane, etc. So there are so many powerful components in Swings which are not actually there in AWT. So AWT is a basic one which have few components, whereas Swing has more number of components. We'll see some of them in this session. Next is AWT doesn't follow MVC architecture, whereas Swings follow this MVC architecture. So what is MVC architecture? It follows model view controller architecture. So model represents the data, whereas view represents the presentation of the data, and controller acts as an interface between model and view. This Swings follows this MVC architecture, means it follows the like layers architecture kind of thing. Next is AWT requires a package called java.awt. So we have seen in the previous video that for creating frames and all those, first we were importing the package called java.awt. Whereas for Swings, we need to have this package called javax.swing. And AWT programs are not portable, whereas Swing programs are portable, so they can be shifted to different platforms. uh, so these are the differences between AWT and Swing. So in the previous session we have seen how to create window based applications using AWT. Now in this session we'll see some components of Swings. So let's start. So first of all, we'll see Swing hierarchy, as we have seen AWT hierarchy. Now, as we all know, the major super class is object class. Under that, we have a component class. Under that, we have a container class. In that, we have window, frame, dialog, and J component. Now, remember, we should remember one thing. Now, all the components in Swings are actually preceded by the letter called J. Sorry, so everywhere you'll call it as J component, J list, J label, J combo box, J text, and so on. So whereas in AWT we just called it as component, text, label, list, and so on. So here we call it as J label and so on. Similarly, frame is called as J frame and dialog is called as J dialog. So likewise, we'll be calling every component in Swing as preceded by J. Now let's see how to create a frame and how to include the components to that particular frame. Now same like AWT, here to create a frame, we have two methods. One is to create the object of that frame class, and the other one is extending the frame class. So why we are creating frame, as we have discussed in AWT, first of all you have to create a frame first, and then we have to include all the components in that frame. So that's why we are creating a frame first. So for creating, we'll follow two methods, either by extending the frame class or by creating the object of frame class. Now let's start with few components. First, I'll give you an example of how to include J button into your frame. It's same like adding button component to your frame class, but here we call it as J button. Now here just observe, we are importing the package called javax.swing.star. So there we have imported java.awt.star. So here for swings you need to import this package called javax.swing. And I took a class that button example in that main method. Now if you'll observe, I'm creating a frame here. For creating the frame, I'm using the first method, that is creating the object of frame class. I'm not extending the frame class. If you'll observe, this is not extending the frame class. It is creating the object for frame class. So for that I'm writing jframe f is equal to new jframe, and the frame name is button example. So my frame name is button example. In that frame I'm adding the button. So that button is J button. So for J button class, I create an object. So for that, I'll write J button B is equal to new J button, and my button name is click here. So let's recall, we have created a frame, that is my frame object is F. So we have used the second method, that is we have used this first method of using object of frame class. So jframe F equal to new jframe and frame name, and button object I have created, and the button name is this one. Now next, for the button I'm setting the bonds. So we have seen what are these four parameters. It first represents x-axis value, y-axis, width and height. So these are the bonds for creating the button. So button will have some bonds, it shape. Next, this button, so I'm adding to the frame, so which I have created using the object called F. So add B to F means button will be added to the frame, and I'm setting the size of frame, and then I'm setting the layout of frame as null, means I'm not following any structure. Then visibility of the frame as true. So if all these concepts actually have uh, discussed in AWT, that is set size, set layout, set visible. So I'll just recall once again. Set size is nothing but you are deciding the size of your frame. It should be 400 by 400. Next is set layout. So in the frame, if you are including so more than one component, if you have 5 buttons, you can decide how that 5 buttons should look like. So for that I'll use this layout method. So I'm not using any layout structure, layout manager here, that's why I wrote it as null here. If you are using any layout, you have to mention what layout is that. So we are going to discuss about different layouts in the next video. Next is visibility. So you have created a frame, now you have to make it visible. So for that you will use a method called set visible. If it is true, it means that that is visible. So f dot set visible. So this is a program which includes a simple J button. Now just see here all of you. Now in this we have created a frame, and the frame name is button example, because in the program we gave it as button example. And then we have a button, that is J button actually. So J button name is click here. So J button name is here, click here. So this is how to include a small component into a J frame. Now let's see the next one, that is J checkbox. Now what is J checkbox mean is, we have seen their checkbox in AWT. Here we call it as J checkbox. So like we have seen, we'll have two options. We should click based on your selection. Like suppose I want to click both C++ and Java, you can click both likewise. So this is like options kind of thing. So these checkboxes are included in frame. Now for that, let's see one example. First of all, again, I've imported the same package. I took a class in that method. I'm writing all this. So I've created a frame. So my frame name is checkbox example. So see in the output, checkbox example. And then checkbox one I'm creating as an object of J checkbox class. So J checkbox one is equal to new J checkbox C++. So this is the first checkbox I'll use. Next is I'm setting the bonds for first checkbox, that is checkbox one dot set bonds. So you're making its size and location. Next, I'm creating the object for next checkbox and name is Java, and I'm setting the bonds for that. And I'm adding these two checkboxes to the frame. So 1 and 2 to the frame. And then I'm setting the size of frame. And then I'm setting the layout, which is null, and making the visibility. So, and I'm creating the object for my class. So by this, two checkboxes will be included in the program like this one. So this is about J checkbox. Now let's see the next one, J radio button. So J radio button is a button actually which is used in online examinations for multiple choice questions. So you'll be given four buttons, like four round buttons like this. Now out of four you'll be selecting only one. If the other one is selected, it will be disabled. Only one will be selected. So that is done with the help of J radio button. Now let's see the speciality of in detail what is the speciality of J radio button. So as I told, J radio button is used to create a radio button. It is used to choose one option from multiple options. So you can't select multiple options like J checkbox. Here only one button out of a group. Now as I told, it is widely used in exam quiz and exam systems or quiz. And if you want to select only one button out of 4 or out of 10, then you should be adding that into button group. So button group is a class. Now you have to include your radio button into that class. If you use button group class to create button group and add radio button in a group, then it will give you an option to select only one radio button. Otherwise you will be able to select all the radio buttons, but I want to select only one. Now let's see the example of this one. Now same thing, we have imported the package. Now I've created a frame if equal to new J frame, and I'm creating two radio buttons for as by creating the object for J radio button. So J radio button R1 is equal to new J radio button, and the name of the first button is A male, and similarly for R2 B male female. So two radio buttons I've created. Now I'm setting the bonds for this. Radio buttons R1 for R1 and R2, and then I should include this R1 and R2 to this button group class, because as I told, if you'll include in the button group class, you will be able to select any one of these two. Otherwise you will be able to select both. So that's why you have to include in the button group. So to include in the button group, you have to write this statement, that button group is equals to BG is equal to new button group. So you can use any object here. So I have just included BG as my object. So I've created a object of my button group class. Now for this object, I'll add my both the buttons, radio buttons. So add R1 to BG and R2 to BG. So I've added. Then this radio button should be added to the frame. So both the radio buttons I'm adding to the frame. Then I'm setting the size of frame, setting the layout of the frame as null, and setting the visibility. So after that, I'm creating the object for main object for my class. So this is the program which shows you the radio buttons like this one, and as you have included in this button group class, you will be able to select any one of these two. Otherwise if you will not write that statement, then you can select both. So this is the advantage of radio button. Now let's see the next component of swing class. uh, the next one is J tabbed pane. So let's see what is J tabbed pane. So I'll show you the diagram first. So this is the J tabbed pane. If you'll see on top, there are some tabs which are there one after the other, like computer name is a tab, then hardware, then advanced, and so on. So you can create such tabbed pane also in using swings. Now let's see how to create that. First of all, let's see the definition. J tabbed pane class is used to switch between a group of components by clicking on a tab with a given title or icon. It inherits J component class. So it inherits the J component class. Now let's see in detail the program of this class. Now just observe the program. First we'll see the output, then it is easy to understand. So I've created a frame called technologies. My name of the frame is technologies. Now inside that I have included 5 tabs. The 5 tabs names are PHP, blockchain, MATLAB, JSP and servlet. So these are my 5 tabs. Now to include these 5 tabs, we'll write a program. Uh, let's see that. Now just see here, we are sorry. Okay. So I'm creating a frame. JFrame is equal to frame if equal to new JFrame, and the name of the frame is technologies. So here it is technologies written, and then I'm creating the object for J tabbed pane. So J tabbed pane is equal to tabbed pane is equal to sorry J tabbed pane. Tabbed pane is equal to new J tabbed pane, means your tabbed pane object is created. Now, in this tabbed pane, you should mention how many panels you are going to have. That is how many tabs you are going to have. So that I am declaring like this: J panel, panel number 1, 2, 3, so on 5. So this J panel will be a part of this J tabbed pane. So now for panels, I am writing panel is equal to new J panel. So I am creating the object for all the panels. Now, as I told, you should include all these panels to the tabbed pane. So how you will include tabbed pane dot add tab. So your panel 1, whatever the panel 1 we have created, its name is PHP, and that is added as a tab to the tabbed pane. So all these panels are actually tabs. So first you'll create the panels, then those panels are given some name and added as a tab to tabbed pane. Now similarly for the next one, panel 2 is name is what? Blockchain. It is added as a tab to the tabbed pane. So likewise we have added all the 5. Then we are setting this then we are adding this tabbed pane to the frame. So entire tab pane we are adding to the frame. So then we are writing it as frame dot set default close operation, that jframe dot exit on close. So when you're closing that, that is when you'll close this, by default it should be closed on exit. So that's a method I'm writing here. Otherwise also it will be closed. Next is frame dot set size. You're setting the size of frame, and then you're making the visibility as true. So this is the program for J tabbed pane. So which includes some number of tabs here. First we'll create them as panel. Then we'll give some name and as add as a tab to your tabbed pane. Now entire tabbed pane should be added to the frame. That's it. Now let's see the next one. We are seeing JList. Now let JList is same like our list of our AWT. Here JList is a component that displays set of objects and allows the user to select one or more items. So JList inherits component class, J component class. So now let's see the program. Before that we'll see the output. So if you'll observe the output, it is a list here which has 4 items. Now, same like our AWT. Now, let's see how to write a program to include this JList to your frame. Now, I'm creating the object for my JFrame. So, JFrame if equal to new JFrame. Then, I'm writing default list model. So, there will be different models for list displaying. So, I'm using the default list model, which will just display some set of items here. Now default list model and data type is string, and the list name is L1, that is object is L1, new default list model. So my list object is what? L1. So to this L1 you have to include all the 4 items you have added here. So L1 is my object, right? So for L1 I am adding the element called item 1. Similarly you have to add the remaining 3. So add those elements to your list called L1. Next, JList. JList object I am creating. JList list equal to new JList of L1. So this list is accommodating this entire list whatever you have created. This means the previous is mentioning the list model. So default model I took. Now I have added some items that list only I am taking into the object of JList called list. Now for this list, I am setting the bounds. Then I am adding this list to the frame and setting the size of frame and setting the layout of frame as null and setting the visibility as true. So then in the main function, I'm creating the object of my class. So this is the program which includes JList for your program. Now let's see the next one. We are going to learn how to include JCombo box. Now let's see what is a JCombo box. JCombo box, I'll show you the output first. JCombo box is almost similar to your JList, but uh, when you'll select this, a drop down menu will show up. So if you'll drop down that, and out of those drop down menu items, if I'll select one, that will be highlighted in this area. So whatever the option I'm selecting, that will be highlighted here. So that is called as JCombo box. Now just here, the object of choice class is used to show pop-up menu of choices. Choice selected by user is shown on top of the menu. It inherits JComponent class. So two things it is showing. One thing is it is used to show pop-up menu of choices. So it will show you a list of items. And out of those lists, if I select any one, that will be highlighted and it will be shown in that particular box. So two things it will do when compared to JList. Now let's see the program for that. Now in this program, again, I'm creating the object of my frame. Frame is equal to new JFrame, and the frame name is what? Combo box example. See here, it's combo box example. Then I'm taking some number of strings and an array. That array name is country. So in that I've included some strings like this. 5 strings I've included into that array. Now I'm creating the object for my combo box. J combo box CB equal to new J combo box and array name, that is country. Now for combo box, I'm setting the bounds, and this combo box I'm adding to the frame, layout of frame, size of frame, visibility of frame. So when you are including this country array in this combo box, it means that it will include all this here. So and then I'm creating the object for my main class. So this is a combo box example. Now if you'll see here, this is the combo box here, which shows the country name, which shows actually a drop down menu here. If I'll click that, it will show you the list of countries, and if I'll select one of them, it will be enabled here. So that's the speciality of combo box. So other than this, there are so many components in swings like J scroll, pane, so many other. So only few of them I have discussed in this session. So I hope everyone understood the difference between AWT and swing and how to include these swing components into the frame. Uh, that's all for this session. Thank you all for listening.